What's good, everybody? How y'all doing? How's everyone doing out there? Let me fix the camera a little bit, bring it over. Yeah, right, cool. I'm in the dungeon, so you know how it goes. We out here just trying to make it happen. But welcome to another episode of Lifegame, where we chop it up about life, current events that's going on, things that are happening in the world that we care about, and that we are you know we're emotionally invested in, so to speak. Sorry about that. So tonight, man, I had to come live. It's been a minute. I know it's been a minute for us doing lives, but I had to come live about this Brian Flores situation, because we all know what's going on. We all know what's going on, and so those that don't know, right? For those that don't know, Brian Flores, former coach of the Miami Dolphins, right? He was fired this past offseason. His name has been out there in a couple of out there for jobs and things like for different jobs, but he hadn't yet to get hired. And you've seen all these coaches get, the better jobs, especially now after this last week. And he knew he probably was not going to get any of the jobs that are still currently open, right? So let's be real about that. So what he did was he filed a lawsuit against the NFL. He filed a lawsuit. Yes. He started busting shots, right? So while he does that, that puts the NFL in defense mode. So I'm going to read the article from yahoo.com. They have a little bit more information than the ESPN article, and it goes into a little bit more detail. So we're gonna start there. So I'm not gonna read the entire article. We're just gonna basically go through the allegations, right? So I highlighted a couple things as far as the allegations. What he's suing the NFL, not just the Miami Dolphins, but he's suing all 32 teams. So he's not going to get hired now. He's not. And then on top of that, he's alleging that is all of his interviews were a sham. Not all of them, but in particular the New York Giants one. So we're gonna go through all that and talk about it. And y'all know me. I'm not gonna keep y'all here all night. I'm not gonna keep you here long. We all got things to do, but I do think when things like this happen, it's important to talk about them. I'm not just here to talking heads on TV, but talk about it here, because we give a different perspective on how these things play out. And so the first thing I wanted to address was Stephen Ross, my Miami Dolphins owner, right? He offered Brian Flores $100K per loss to tank during the 2019 season. Can you believe that? An actual owner offered his head coach $100K per loss. That's allegedly. All right. That's crazy. I think the Dolphins wound up going 5-11 that year. Yeah, 5-11, which was his first year as a head coach. It was, he was under the Belichick tree. Spent 15 seasons there as a scout and an assistant. Worked his way up, and then parlay that into a head coaching job within the division, right? And the first year you're coaching, you're trying to build a culture. You're trying to put your stamp on your team. You're trying to, you're trying to build out what your vision for your team. And the guy who's supposed to support you the most, right? The guy who's supposed to support you the most, which is the owner of the team, the guy who signs your check, wants you to lose for a better draft position, which I think the one number overall pick was Joe Burrow that year, right? So, 2019 draft. So that was Joe Burrow, which, I mean, that wouldn't have been a bad pick, but they weren't in that position. And deliberately, you shouldn't be trying to lose games. I think they wound up picking Tua that year, right? So they wound up picking Tua. And I think in that position, they picked 5 that year. I think they should have got Justin Herbert. So, but that's just me. But that's a big thing, man. Like you don't do that as an owner, unless it's and that goes to the psychology of these owners. Let me just speak to this. I've been watching sports pretty much my whole life, right? My entire life, definitely my entire ever since I can remember, right? I used to just watch like ESPN just for bowling on Sunday when football was off. I just watched everything, freaking soccer, right? And when you look at the owners, their psychology is this is my plaything, and I can do what I want to with it. And if you don't, I pay you, and you just because I pay you, you should do what I say, even though that's against everything that you signed up for. So that's that's one side of it as far as being an owner. And this is basically because none of these guys, most of them, they didn't come up in this. This is a thing for them, right? This is a thing. Fix my camera. Do our thing while we do our thing, Get the door out of there. There we go. It's a little better, I guess. I was trying to straighten it up, but not working. So whatever. We're here. So back to the point. You don't do that, and those owners, they have that psychology. This is my play toy. This is, this is my toy. You should, this is my ball, right? And you should want to play by my rules. So, that's hard for someone with integrity. That's hard for someone with morals. That's hard for someone who stands for something, So they wound up. They started 0-7, right? They started 0-7, and they ended the season. So they started 0-7, and they ended the season 5-11, right? So that means over their last 8 games, 9 games, it was like 7-3 or something like that. No, 5-3. 5-3 over the last 8 games. That's good. So by doing that, that dropped them to the 5th position when they were competing for the number 1 position. So then in the article, right? A bombshell article. You know what I mean? Our boy BF started throwing shots. Pop, 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 pop. Number two, he wanted Brian Flores to meet with a black QB, right? That was under contract with another team. And he kind of set up a rendezvous on his yacht out in Miami. I think it was Miami. Yeah, Miami. He had the yacht. He had the whole they had the meeting, they had the whole spread, the food, they was just gonna kick it on the yacht. And when Brian Flores found out what was going on, he got up and left. Don't know if that can be proven in court, but those are the allegations. Now, that meeting would violate the CBA, right? Now, mind you, Ross is an owner. I mean, that's like, you are basically a part ownership of the league. So when Roger Goodell tries to, and you're basically enabling a violation of the CBA and presiding over it, right? You're presiding over a violation of the CBA. Now, he'll get a slap on the wrist for that, if anything, because he's an owner. That's Roger Goodell. He works for Roger Goodell. I mean, Roger Goodell works for him, right? So Roger Goodell works for him. So what kind of some money, some draft picks? Okay. Nothing real tangible. That's tangible, but nothing that's gonna hurt him because he was trying to take anyway. Anyway, I digress. Yeah. So that's the second thing, man. Violating the CBA, like, that's not cool. You don't want to do that. But Brian Flores, who knows what? Well, no, I guess the organization would be more at fault. But Brian Flores didn't want to be didn't want that on his reputation. Like, you're the guy caught tampering, or whatever. So, and the owner, Steve Ross, again, he's not gonna give it down. He'll receive a slap on the wrist, if that, So it is what it is. Now, that was the second thing. The third thing, bruh, nigga. Niggas say nigga. They say nigga, they be like, some shit from nigga, let me tell you this shit right here, nigga. Bruh, he popped him out that time. Like, he letting them go. You know what I'm saying? Because he basically alleged that he had a sham interview with the Giants. Basically, the Giants knew who they were going to hire before they even spoke to Brian Flores, right? Now, I got a little clip from Dan Le Batard show. I like Dan Le Batard to a degree. Don't always agree with things he says. He real left-leaning. I'm more right center. You know what I mean? So as far as conservative, not like a right Republican, I'm just saying conservative. So it's more of a, we don't agree on everything, but I do like the show. It's very well produced. And this was kind of like an impromptu meeting with David Sampson. Now, for those that don't know, David Sampson, he was basically director and president of the Florida Marlins, which are now the Miami Marlins. And he for like 15 years, 15, 18 years, something like that. He worked in the front office for that team. And basically what he gives a lot of insight to, I listen to, especially when he's on, because he gives a lot of insight to that side of the world of business, how the management thinks, the things that they actually have to are important to them, not the things that are important to the fans. They don't give a damn. They're trying to increase revenue, engagement, and those type of things, so they don't really care. So I want to show this because what's happening is, 1 second. Let me share screen. And so what I wanted to what is that? Audio. There we go. Cool. So he gives a lot of he gives some insight into how they think when they're making these type of decisions, you know. So let me start that. Let me add that stream. Let's get that playing.
Something that I did because I think I fired 15 managers. We always had to interview, because of the ceiling rule, a minority candidate. And we hired some minorities, but when we knew we were hiring someone who was white, we had to interview, and there was a list. And this is what's crazy in baseball, and it's the same in football. The NFL is going to claim that we are doing, their statement said it, we're doing everything we can, diversity matters. There's a list. The list is given to all owners and all GMs. You choose someone from the list who you give an interview to. You then get to check the Rooney Rule box, and then you move on with your hire. If it's true that Belichick knew that Dable was hired prior to the Flores interview, that is an absolute violation of the Rooney Rule, and the Giants will have no choice but to be fined significantly, loss of draft picks, multiple millions of dollars, because they will have to be the example of the Rooney Rule gone bad.
Understood.
Yeah. That's a guy that worked in the front office, right? He's basically saying, yeah. This is it. This is what these are the things they have to go. They have a list because they have to interview a black candidate. They have a fucking list that says, hey, these are the guys that are down with the interview, or these are the guys that you can interview and get away with, right? You can interview and get away with not hiring or not even taking them seriously. You already know what's going on. Now, here's the bombshell, right? So I'm gonna show this part of the article. Bam. So what we're gonna do? So check this out, guys. This part of the article is going to show. All right, you guys see it here. So it says perhaps the most damning accusations in the suit involve Bill Belichick and the Giants. The suit includes a screenshot of a text exchange Flores says he had with Belichick, in which the Patriots head coach allegedly mistakenly texted Flores that he was going to get the Giants job when they were in fact hiring Dable. So he said, the exchange happened happened 3 days prior to to Flores interviewing with the Giants. So 3 days before, he's getting a congratulatory text from Bill Belichick. When they've hired, so basically he went to Brian in his phone, and this nigga texted the wrong Brian. He texted the wrong Brian. Like, come on. Like, come on. That is hilarious, man. Hang on one second. There we go. Sorry about that. Family man, things happen. We're getting everything built set up. So I'm trying to move to have things better in a better location. But we got to do what we do. But here's our thing, right? Here's the thing. Belichick, sounds like you've landed. Congrats. Flores, did you hear something I didn't hear? Belichick, Giants. Flores, I interview on Thursday. I think I have a shot at it. Belichick, got it. I hear from Buffalo and EYG that you're their guy. Hope it works out for you. It's like he switched it up. See how he switched it up? Huh? You switched it up. So I hope it works out for you. if you wanted to. That is hilarious. That's definitely what I want. I hope you're right, Coach. Thank you. Coach, are you talking to Coach? Are you talking to Brian Flores or Brian Dable? Just making sure. Belichick, sorry, I fucked up. I double checked and I misread the text. I think they are naming Dable. I'm sorry about that, BB. Flores, thanks, Bill. And he got receipts. He ain't playing. He got him. You see him. He got him. So, what does that mean? Now, in court, there's going to be some hard stuff to prove, or it's going to be hard to prove in court, where he got that information from, especially if Bill isn't honest, right? So, and knowing him, he's gonna protect all that. He'll take one. I think he'll take one. It's just my thought. I think he'll take one for the team, the NFL team. I think he'll take one for the NFL team. That's just me though, but I digress. But that's where we at, man. I didn't want to hold you guys long. I did want to talk about this. I did want to touch base, and we back in full effect. Twice a week like we always do. I don't give a damn if I got to be on my phone in the car or here in the office in the shop where is actually not busy right now. Because we usually pumping out or doing some shit, apprentice. We got something going on, so I'm locking doors right now, and I'm keeping everybody out. So, but thank you guys for joining me. This has been another episode of Lifegame. I appreciate it. Thank you for bearing with my struggle stream right here. You know what I'm saying? That's what they call it out here, the struggle stream. So. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. Like, subscribe, and there's going to be more content because there's a lot to be said about having different insights. And like I said, I think people don't want to always listen to the talking heads, man. Like we get enough of the Stephen A's, and no disrespect to those guys, but we understand that to a certain degree you're putting on the show, and some people just want the real. Some people just want the real, and a lot of interests are when you put on the show. There's a lot of hands in your pocket, or you know what I'm saying. There's a lot of strings that has to be pulled. Certain things can't be said. So certain things you can't elaborate on, things like that. But not here at Lifegame. What we're trying to do is build something where we can talk open, honest, and free, but also thoughtful, respectful. And we do things like this, man. I try to get some insight. I usually have, the super crew, my friends with me. But I think we're going to switch some things up going forward. And you're going to see more reviews and things like that. So I do a new video coming soon. Be on the lookout. And there'll be more shorts in production as well. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Like, subscribe, and talk to you guys later. Thanks.